More football, more football, more football. Look at the AFC playoff picture. Isn't it lovely? Just like this graphic. Shout out to our producer, Ethan, for putting this together. There you see the division leaders. Duh, your Pats, Broncos, Jaguars, and the Steelers wild card. Chargers, Bills, Texans. Oh my, in the hunt, but none of us believe either will make it. Old fat man Rivers and the Ravens, where Lamar's like, my back, my neck, and my back. I don't think they're going to make it. I think, listen, the left and the middle of your screen, my prediction would be what we're going to get come playoff time. But I would take the Patriots to be the 1 seed. Let's bring in Jon Lyons of WEEI and the New England Football Journal, busy guy, to break it all down with us. Look, I already know you think they're going to get the 1 seed, so I'm just going to skip to the last few games here, Jon, of the schedule. Which one of these games, or both, with the Jets and the Dolphins, is a trap game? Because we're all happy around here right now, but I look at these, I think it's going to be wins, but can the team get trapped up in this and slip to one or both?
Yeah, Travis, it's a good question because if you win these 2 games, obviously you have a chance at the 1 seed. If you lose one of them, the 1 seed essentially is out of your hands. And don't sleep on the division being out of your hands if you lose these games. So I look at the Miami game maybe as more of the trap game, if you will, of the 2. I mean, I'm not going to totally sleep on the Jets, who did come to Gillette Stadium a month ago and play you close. But I think Miami, it's still Jalen Waddle. It's still a coach in Mike McDaniel who, even though I don't believe in, he at least has experience beating the Patriots, which Aaron Glenn doesn't have. So I look at Miami in that last week. And also the Patriots, they might be in a weird spot that last week because their depth, and it's something we've talked about all year long, right? Their depth and how thin they are. They're going to need some extra rest. So if they get the 1 seed, obviously they'll have the bye. But if they don't get the 1 seed or they go into that Sunday thinking they might not get the 1 seed, you kind of wonder, do they try to rest some guys before a wild card playoff game? So it just might be kind of a weird spot there. And again, I think the Patriots should win both games. But if you're asking me to pick which one is the more potential of a trap game, I'd go with the Miami game.
I was going to say, Coach Jon, how do you handle the injuries going forward here? Do you take Milton Williams off the IR this week? Do you play him? Do you play Travion Henderson, considering,
Will Campbell?
You know, even Will Campbell, does he come back? How do you play this one out if you're the coach?
Yeah, it's a great question, Joe. And look, there's 2 things I want to see in the next couple of weeks from the Patriots. One, can Drake Maye play a clean game for 60 minutes? Because, look, he was amazing in that 4th quarter against the Ravens. Biggest reason that they won that game. But he had the 2 bad turnovers early. We saw him have a bad first half against Cincinnati a few weeks ago. Can he play 60 minutes heading into the playoffs without any turnovers, efficient, put a couple of touchdowns on the board, maybe 3, build a lead? Again, these are 2 teams you should be able to do that against. So can Drake Maye do that? And the other thing to your question, can Milton Williams come back and look good? Because we've seen this run defense suffer a lot since Milton Williams went out. Obviously, the Spillane injury is part of that. But I think, look, you got to balance it out because, yes, you want to be healthy. Yes, you want to be rested. But you want to be playing well heading into the playoffs. You don't want to face a Houston or a LA Chargers early in the playoffs and not be fully ready to go and be a little, I don't want to say too rested, but just not playing as sharp as you were earlier in the year, because those are 2 teams. Look, the AFC playoff field's wide open. Those are 2 teams that are fully capable of coming to Gillette Stadium and winning a game. So I think you want to head in with Milton Williams playing, with Will Campbell playing that final game, with Robert Spillane, obviously if he's healthy, playing. Henderson maybe sit out this week, but play him against Miami. There's so many young guys on this team, so many new guys that, yes, you have to worry about depth, but I also want them to just be playing well heading into the postseason.
So kind of knock off the dust before the postseason approach, which I like. Rather than looking at these as trap games, I'm kind of looking at them as statement wins to the degree of what you just mentioned. There's a few things we still need to see out of this team, more importantly, piecing together 4 quarters. What could we potentially learn from the matchup versus the Jets as well as the Dolphins that they can carry into the postseason because they need to be able to piece together 4 quarters. They need to stop letting teams get on to stronger starts, and that's something they did against, well, the Jets for one, but then the Dolphins having a comeback in that second half for 2.
Yeah, what are we at now, guys? Like 10 times already this season, they've given up points on their opening drive on defense. Can they come out and stop teams early in games and keep them stopped, right? We saw it the other night with Derrick Henry. It felt like he did whatever he wanted the entire game, averaged 7 yards per carry throughout, and thankfully John Harbaugh decided to sit him. I still don't know why, but can they come out and play consistent defense for 60 minutes? And Spillane and Milton Williams will be a big part of that, I know. And then offensively, to your point, Kasey, can they make a statement? Can they play 60 minutes of good football? No red zone turnovers like they had on their first drive the other night. No fumbles near the end of the first half like they had the other night. Because I think, when you get to the NFL playoffs, especially with a team like the Patriots that hasn't been there before, and they've shown great resiliency this year, but in the playoffs, you can have a bad 5 minutes and your season could be over. And that's where I think the Patriots want to use these two games to make that statement of, hey, we're going to be good for 60 minutes. We're not going to turn the ball over. We're going to play well defensively and also special teams wise as well. We saw that bizarre fake punt Sunday night, which obviously wasn't good, but go back to the week before against Buffalo, the 2 big kickoff returns they allowed. So can they play well for 60 minutes on special teams as well? Because you guys know it. A lot of times these playoff games, sometimes 1 or 2 big special teams plays can change the outcome of those games. So, again, can they make that statement you said, Kasey? Can they play well in all 3 phases for 60 minutes? Because we've seen parts of it. We've seen moments of it. Can we see 60 minutes of it for a couple weeks?
John, Stephon Diggs, can you just talk about the impact he's made on and off the field for the Patriots?
Yeah, you could make the case last year, Joe, that their receiver room was the worst in the NFL. I mean, at best, they were probably 31st. So pretty low down on the rankings last year. And he's come in, and look, you got to give Mac Hollins credit. Kyle Williams has made some big plays, but Stephon Diggs has really been, I think, not a tone setter, but a total tone changer for that receiver room. Not only is he a really talented player, 9 catches the other night, and in big moments too. That 4th and 2 throw from Maye to Stephon Diggs for 16 yards, you can make the case that was the biggest single play in the game the other night. So not only is he making those big plays, but for the first time, guys, since probably Julian Edelman retired, defenses have a guy they have to game plan around. And I know it sounds so, but it really, I think the first time since Edelman retired, the Patriots have had that. And that in itself makes things easier for Kyle Williams, makes things easier for Mac Hollins, even makes things easier for Hunter Henry. So I think Diggs, not only has he been a great player, he's been a great leader from all indications. When I've been at practice, it looks like a lot of the receivers really follow his lead. And again, I think it's a guy that when the moment is big, Drake Maye knows he can depend on him. Whether it was Sunday night in Buffalo a couple months ago, this past Sunday night, he knows he can depend on Steph Diggs. And that's something that you get into January, you got to have guys like that. So not only has he been great this year, it's a guy, Joe, that I hope they keep around for at least 2 or 3 more years to come.
John, 30 seconds left. We got to get a prediction from you. You already said you think the Dolphins are more trappy, so I'm guessing you're taking the Pats to dust off the Jets, right?
Yeah, I do have the Patriots winning in this game. And again, it's just kind of the stuff we talked about. Can they play 60 minutes of clean football offensively? Are they going to get healthier on defense and play well? And honestly, guys, like these 2 games for me are more about Mike Vrabel than anyone else. Does the team stay focused? Do they stay locked in? Do they play well against teams they should have beat? And I'll just go back to when I was on your show in October, I talked about that win over the Saints and how important that was that they stayed focused after a big win in Buffalo. You just had a big win in Baltimore. Can you stay focused and keep it going? I think they can, but that's something to watch for the next couple weeks.
Well, John, you know we love you. We'll see you next week. Appreciate everything.
Merry Christmas,
and make
bud.
sure you all call us, 617-790-0928.